What's going on, guys? I'm back with an updated custom roster. I know a lot of you have been asking for this. That's why I haven't uploaded a video the past few days. I've just been working like crazy to get this done. Obviously, I wanted like the new updated roster for my next franchise mode, which, spoiler, will be the Vancouver Canucks. So next year, I'm just going to show you guys what the rosters are going to look like for that franchise mode and the rest of my franchise modes until NHL 22. If you guys see any, big misses, things that need to change, definitely let me know in the comments below. And as always, leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed this one. Starting out with Alex Newhook here, 19 years old, 73 overall, high top 6. I don't think I've changed him since the last roster video, but as always, I'll make sure to show you guys all the individual stats so you can recreate them in your own game. Next up, Alex Vlasic here, 65 high top 6. Bobby Brink, 68 medium top 6. Again, I think these guys are all the same. Chaz Lucius, now he's a new prospect. He's supposed to go around top 15 in this year's draft. You can see here he's 17 years old. Main position center, also plays, I'm putting left wing. I feel like, any wing would work in secondary position. You can see he's a sniper, so his best attribute there, of course, is his shooting. Good offensive stats all around. 77 offensive awareness, honestly, for a guy that's 65 overall is quite high. Overall, just a very creative offensive player, and as I mentioned, you can see 65 overall there, high toxic potential. The way I do it basically is top 10's medium elite, top 15 high top 6, then first round's medium top 6, and if they're going to go top 3, and they're actually supposed to be a franchise player or whatever, I'll boost them up from medium elite. And after Lucius, guys, we have Cam York, who I've actually upgraded a little bit. Now he's 74 overall, medium top 4, had a really good season this year at Michigan, so figured he was worthy of the upgrade. You can see offensive defenseman there. But honestly, overall, just a pretty good all-around defenseman. Dylan Holloway here on the Edmonton Oilers, another college prospect, 66, medium top 6. After him, you have Devin Levi, of course, played good at Canada for the World Juniors. I actually had to add him for the Canada World Junior video. You can see there, 68 overall, medium starter. I feel like that's pretty fair considering his draft position, everything else. Jake Sanderson here, taking 5th overall by the Senators, 75 overall, medium elite. Ken Johnson there, 68 overall, medium elite. He should go top 10 in this year's draft. I actually predicted Detroit will take him at number 6. Basically, all the guys are going to go top 10 in this year's draft, aside from Power and Beniers, I think. I have a 68 overall, medium elite, as they could literally go anywhere from, say, like 3 to 10. I think the only one I gave a slight edge to was William Eklund. I made him a 70 because I think Eklund should go number 3. So you can see Luke Hughes here, offensive defenseman. Again, 68 overall, medium elite. Matthew Beniers, supposed to go number 2, so he's 72 there, medium elite. I definitely gave him a little bit of a boost. Last time I think you guys saw him, he was a 68. Same with Luke Hughes, I think he was a 65, so he also got a bit of a boost. Matthew Boldy here, I believe, same as before, 74 overall, high top 6. Matthew Michkov here, so I actually gave him a big boost. He was a 60 overall before medium franchise, he's now 64 with that medium franchise. Supposed to be the next Ovechkin, 15 years old. Look at that shot. It might not seem crazy, but for a 15-year-old, it's going to be like high 80s probably right out of the draft, and he'll definitely get up into like the 95 to 99 range by the time, he's 25, carrying up the NHL. So he's going to be a sick prospect. Should go number 2 in 2023 behind Connor Bedard. Owen Power here. I had him as a 69 before, but after seeing how good he played the World Championship against actual men NHL players, I felt like, he deserved at least a lower 70. So 74 overall, still only medium elite. I actually increased, a lot of his defensive stats, physical stats, because again, he's playing against men. He didn't look out of place at all. He was actually logging a bunch of minutes for Canada, who won the gold. So I think this makes a bit more sense for him now. Rodion Amirov there, 66, medium top 6. I believe this is the exact same as before. Shakir Mukhamaddin, I hope I said that right. 74 overall, medium top 4. The last video I did, I think he was a low elite, but during one of my franchises, I changed him to medium top 4 just because low elite, I found he just didn't grow enough. Next up here, we have another Russian, Vasily Podkolzin, 74 overall, medium elite. He'll probably play a big role in the Canucks franchise mode. After him, another one, Yaroslav Askarov here, of course, drafted last year, first round, 74 overall, high elite. I also gave Spencer Knight, I think, highly potential, gave him a bit of a boost. Igor Chinikov here, 72 overall, medium top 6. Same as Mukhamaddin. I felt like low elite for him, wasn't really growing. And then I noticed in my Seth Jones video, he was an 80 overall after the first season. So clearly his stats there, probably the shooting being pretty high, definitely helped him out. Now, that's actually all of my created players. I could have more, but I feel like, those are the most important ones. The thing I actually spent the most time on was editing current NHL players. I wanted the rating to represent real life the best I could. That way we'll get the most realistic trades, free agent signings, things like that. The teams that are doing well in real life, I'd like to see doing well in game, and vice versa. The bad teams should be doing bad. So, starting off here with the Ducks, Lindholm I boosted 86, so by 1. Fowler 85. I changed the potential as well. Now, a lot of times, if they're over 26, the potential change doesn't really matter. So keep that in mind. I just do it kind of for myself. Fleury, I believe, had medium elite. I dropped it to medium top 4. I think that made a bit more sense. Other than that, just a few changes there for the Ducks. Look at the Coyotes now. Chychrun I gave a pretty good boost to, up to an 86. I think he definitely deserved it after this year. Jarmelson I dropped by 1 to an 83. I think that makes a bit more sense for him. Lyubushkin, slight upgrade, 78 to a 79. And I think that is it for the Arizona Coyotes. Boston Bruins here, both Bergeron and Marchand made high elite. Now again, they were high top 6. They're in their 30s. It doesn't really matter. It's just more for me. I thought it was weird. Pastrnak though as well, I made a high elite. I think he definitely deserves it. For me, top 5 winger easily in the NHL. Charlie McAvoy, now one of the biggest boosts I gave. He's now 90 overall there, medium elite. I think he's one of the top 10 defensemen in this league, maybe top 5. So I think 90 for McAvoy makes a lot of sense. He's definitely one of the best in terms of 5-on-5. Grizzly here as well, I gave an upgrade to. I want to say he was an 80 or 81. He's now an 83. Medium top 4 potential there. Craig Smith, slight upgrade. He's played really well with Hall and Krejci. I thought they deserved it. After that, Mike Riley gave a bit of a boost to it. A very good season. He's now an 81. And I believe that is it. Everyone else looked good. I think Zaboral or Lozon. One of them was medium top 6. They're now both medium top 4. And I think that is it for the Bruins. Buffalo Sabres here. Eichel's now high elite opposed to medium elite as well. Ristolainen, I had to downgrade. He was like a 86 high elite, which was way just too high for him. He's now 83 low elite. I think it makes a lot more sense. Jeff Skinner there actually upgraded. They made him a 78. He's having a bad year. He didn't have the greatest year last year, but he's on Buffalo. I think that's a big factor for it. If he goes somewhere else, I think he'll be at least an 80. He might even actually, return to form a bit and be a decent top 6 player. So 80 I think was a bit more fair for him. Dylan Cousins there, no change. Casey Middlestat, low elite opposed to medium elite. He hasn't broken through at all. He's 21. I think the low elite makes a lot more sense. Okposo there if it matters. Medium bomb 6. They still have him as a medium elite for some reason. But I think that is it for Buffalo. Calgary Flames here. Giordano I gave a slight upgrade to, now an 87. Also I boosted his potential. After that, Tanev slight upgrade, now an 84 in a solid season. Mangiapane I think was definitely underrated in this game. So now an 83 there. Looked really good at the World Championships. Just a solid guy. Can play first, second, third line for you. So I think 83 makes a lot of sense for him. After that, I think that was actually all I did for the Flames. I'll do all the goalies after I do all the skaters. Killing Hurricanes here, Doug Hamilton. EA did upgrade, I think, to 87, but I gave him even more of an upgrade to 89. I think it makes sense. Hamilton's very good. Same with Slavin. Upgrade him further to an 88. I also gave him an upgrade on potential, I believe, making him a medium elite. After that, Pesci, bit of an upgrade, 85. Like, Hurricanes defense, definitely a little bit underrated. Speaking of that, though, Shea's potential, I dropped from elite to medium top 4. Also dropped Gardner from 83 to 82. Bean, I think, was 80 medium top 4 before. So I think that is it for the Hurricanes. The Blackhawks here, I don't really think I touched the Blackhawks too much. I think Connor Murphy I gave a +1 to. Keith I dropped by 1 to an 84. I feel like he's getting old. His age is starting to show a bit. Other than that, though, those two changes. Nylander as well. Dropped from medium elite to low elite. Just felt like that was a bit more realistic. Avalanche here, McKinnon I thought was good. Renton I actually boosted to 91. But basically when I'm doing the ratings, I'm looking at like comparables. So I think him, Pastrnak, and Marner, and Huberdeau, they're all very similar to me, and all 4 of them are 91. So that's why I did that. Cale Makar here, kind of like Charlie McAvoy. One of the biggest upgrades for sure. He's now an 89 overall there with high elite potential. I thought about going higher for him, honestly, but I felt like that'd be just too OP. 21 years old, 89 high elite. He's going to grow like crazy. Like, he already grew before being like 86, 87, whatever it was, medium elite. So he's going to absolutely go off now. Landeskog's the same. Devin Tays, they gave a bit of an upgrade too, now an 85. I felt like he's a very solid defenseman, deserved it. Girard was good. I know before they had him like an 81, but EA actually did upgrade him on their own. After that, I feel like Comfort got an upgrade, now an 81 from an 80. Nichushkin got an upgrade as well from 80 to an 81, and I changed his player type there. Now a two-way forward, you can see defensive stats are a lot better. He's one of the better two-way guys in the game. They have him as a sniper before, which just wasn't accurate. After that, I think everyone else there is the same. Columbus Blue Jackets here, Sorowenski and Jones. No change to the ratings, but I did change, I think, like their individual stats a bit. I made Sorowenski a bit more offensive, Jones a bit more defensive. After that, Gavrikov I gave an upgrade, was an 80 with medium top 6, now 82 medium top 4. Like, he's a pretty solid defensive defenseman. He's still 24, getting better. I felt like that was fair for him. Boone Jenner, I think, actually turned into a power forward opposed to a two-way forward. So you guys might have noticed that on earlier teams, and I forgot to point it out. Basically, I felt like there weren't really enough power forwards in the game, considering the fact that you pretty much need a playmaker, a sniper, and a power forward to get that +3 or even +5 chemistry. So a lot of guys who were listed as a two-way forward, but, looking at them, I felt like a bit more offensive than defensive. I made that change to power forward just to, again, help out in terms of getting that chemistry boost in franchise, whether it's me or even, just one of the AI-controlled teams. After that, I think for Columbus, they are all the same. Dallas Stars here. Pavelski gave a slight upgrade, now an 87 opposed to an 86. Heiskanen, I thought about upgrading to 87, equal with Klingberg. I left him 86. Let me know if he deserves a bit of a boost. Lindell here, I did boost by 1 to an 84. Jason Robertson, I had to give a big boost to. He was only a 79. The dude had almost as good stats as Kaprizov this year in his rookie year, and he's 2 years younger than Kaprizov, so that made no sense to me. Kaprizov, I think, is 23.85, medium elite, so I made Robertson 83, high top 6 at 21. Kaprizov, I do agree, is slightly better. So now he's 2 overall below, high top 6 opposed to medium elite. High top 6 can turn into medium elite. He's also younger there, so he actually could turn out to be the better player. You can see there, I feel like I gave him pretty solid stats. This is a lot more fair than the 79 EA gave him. That, and I believe I dropped by 1 because he didn't go on waivers, went unclaimed. Alexi, I think I upgraded by 1 just because he's just so big. I basically upgraded a bunch of like his physical stats and defensive stats a bit, and I got a +1 boost there. Fax, I think, is another guy turned into a power forward from a 2-way forward. Everyone else there looks to be the same. Detroit Red Wings here, my team. It hurt, but I had to drop Larkin by 1. 87 seemed a bit too high, made him an 86. Bertuzzi, I turned into a power forward. I think everyone else here, Zadina as well, I turned into a sniper. I'm sure I'm going to miss some of the player type changes, but other than that, I think Detroit actually, Rasmussen as well, turned into power forward. I also made a playmaker. So Detroit, my team, I was definitely looking at guys and saying the player type didn't make sense for a lot of them. And next year, guys, are the Edmonton Oilers. You might notice Connor McDavid, 97 overall. I feel like it was fitting for number 97. I mean, he absolutely dominated the league this year. High franchise potential is what EA gave him. I mean, he's by far the best player in the league. So him being a 97, he's now got, I think, a 4 overall gap between him and the next guy. Draisaitl, Crosby, Ovechkin, I believe all 3 of them are 93. So I'm hoping basically in The Sims, at least half the time McDavid is the leading scorer for the first 4 or 5 years, as he really should be when you look at real life. Pretty much every other year, McDavid's winning out at Ross. So I'll show you the individual stats again. You can see hands all 97, offensive awareness 99. The dude's an absolute beast. I'm sure some of you are thinking McDavid's gonna be overpowered now, but honestly, I'd rather McDavid be overpowered than underpowered. I think that'd actually be more realistic. So let me know what you guys think about that one. Look at the rest of the Oilers here. I don't think I actually made too many changes. I feel like they looked pretty good. I want to say James Neal might have been a power forward, and I made him a sniper because he doesn't really bang that much. It's more just, shooter now. Other than that, Puljujarvi, I think, was already low elite. They finally made that change. So, yeah, I think Edmonton was actually looking pretty good. In case I forget, Philip Broberg, I gave high top 4 opposed to medium top 4. He's on one of the European teams. So Florida here, Barkov, I gave a slight boost to, now 91, tied with Huberdeau. Mackenzie Weegar, bit of a boost there, now an 85. I believe he was an 83. Yandel, I dropped to an 84. He's pretty much only offense now, so I think that made more sense. Sam Bennett, I had to boost after how good he played with Florida after the trade deadline. He had over a point per game in the regular season. I think he had point per game in the playoffs. I want to say EA had him as a 78. I made him an 81. He maybe should be even higher, but it's tough to give a guy too much of a boost on only 15 games played. Again, it's always so hard to balance this. Wenberg there, I made a low elite post to medium elite, even though he only has 1 year left there to grow. Denisenko, of course, now in game, so not to worry about my created one. If you have it, definitely you can remove it now. I think that was it for Florida. LA here, Kopitar I didn't touch. Doughty, though, I did drop to an 87. Was a 91 before, I believe. I feel like 87 is a bit more realistic for him. Dustin Brown, I turned from a grinder to a power forward again, just to give us more power forward options. Matt Waugh here actually gave a bit of an upgrade too, now an 81, as well as potential, I think. Made him medium top 4, because he's actually not too bad. Other than that, I don't really know if I did much to LA. Bornfoot there, medium top 4 opposed to high top 6. High top 6 defensemen never get above a 79, maybe an 80. So if you want them to actually have a chance to grow, which, Burnfoot here, first round pick, should have, definitely need to make him a medium top 4. But yeah, I think, everyone else looks good to me. Minnesota here, Spurgeon's down at 87, definitely deserves that. Best defenseman on their team, it should be reflected in the ratings. Suter, I left 86. I thought about dropping, but I was like, you know what, 86 is fine for him. He's still not too bad. Again, Kaprizov, I thought the rating was fine. Dumba there, Brodina actually upgraded, now an 85. I think I just basically focused on his defensive stats. He's turned into a pretty good defenseman, but I left him a 2-way there. Everyone else here, I think, is pretty good. Foligno, I upgraded a bit, now an 81. As well, kind of like Brodina, I increased his defensive stats to show that 2-way game. Bonino, I might have made an 81 if he was an 80. And then after that, I think that is it for the Wild. Montreal Canadiens here, I actually had to do a ton of work on. So Shea Weber, I'm not sure if he was an 88 or an 87, but he's an 87 now. I might have dropped him to 87. Petrie, I bumped up to an 87. Gallagher there, I bumped up to an 86. Toffoli, but +1 to an 85. Deneau, I gave +1 to 84, just increased defensive stats, obviously. Show that 2-way game. Suzuki, I gave high top 6 opposed to medium top 6. Now Duran, I had to drop. I think he was 85 medium elite, which is just way too high. So I made him an 84 medium top 6, and I still think that's more than fair. Anderson I gave a +1 to. I think I just increased his shooting a bit, maybe physical. Erickson here I had to drop. He was an 84 before, which made no sense. The guy got traded for a 7th round pick. I mean, I know they're using him a bit in the playoffs. He's a decent offensive defenseman, which I just realized I should be making him offensive defenseman opposed to 2A. I think I mentioned it before, an 84 overall in this game is never getting traded for a 7th round pick. So 82 is probably still a little bit too high, but I think a lot of the guys who were kind of in that weird zone, I basically made 82. Looked at Sami Vatanen, Shane Gostisbehere, you'll see later, is also an 82. Edmonton there, I don't think I've changed. So I believe that is it for Montreal. Actually, for Leak here, I think I dropped to a 79 because he's not really playing much. And Byron here, I made sure to get his speed, 95 speed and excel. Other than that, though, I think it's all good. Caulfield I used to have my own version of, but I felt like the EA one was pretty solid, so I just left it. Nashville here, Yossi, slight upgrade now at 91. Let me see. Duchesne I gave a slight upgrade to, now an 84. I personally think this was a bit of a fluke year, an off year for him. Got injured. We'll see if I'm wrong. We'll see if he goes back to being an 83. After that, I'm trying to think if I made any changes. I think Nashville actually looked pretty solid. Tolvanen, another guy, was elite, now medium top 6. Hopefully they make that change with 22. It's so annoying. I've been downgrading him for at least the last 2 years. Him and Vesalainen in both late first round picks. Haven't really shown anything that makes me think they'll be elite. The Devils here, so let's see. First change, Jack Hughes. He was an 83, I believe, with high elite, which didn't seem right to me, so I dropped him by 1 to an 82, and I made him medium elite, which I still think is honestly more than fair based on his production so far. Bratt there, I gave a slight upgrade to, now an 82. After that, Sranovich here, he was low. I forget what he was. Now he's a 78 medium top 6. A lot better, basically. I also made him a sniper. I think he was a 2A forward, but he had a decent amount of goals this year. And I think that's it for the Devils. Islanders here, I think Barzal didn't touch. Adam Pelech here, I gave a huge upgrade to, now an 87. One of the best defensive defensemen in the game. So I think that's a lot more fair. Pollock also a slight upgrade, now an 86. Lee as well, I gave a bit of an upgrade to, now an 85. I felt like he's probably the second best forward behind Barzal. That should be reflected. Letty I didn't touch. I thought about downgrading him to 84, but I don't know, sometimes I just leave him. Nelson, Everly, Bailey upgraded. He was an 83, now an 84. Beauvillier was an 81 or an 82, but I made him an 83 now. Same with Pajot there. I believe Mayfield is 79, now an 81. Green, I think, was a 78. I made him a 79. Coburn was an 81, dropped to a 79. And I think that is it. Dalcol as well, I made a low top 6. I want to say it was medium top 9. Like I said, guys, I was making so many changes. I'm trying to remember all of them here. New York Rangers, Panarin didn't touch. Adam Fox, though, another guy. Huge upgrade to him. Kind of like Cale Makar. So he's 88 overall now with medium elite. So basically kind of slightly low Makar in my personal rankings. And I think that's a lot more fair than before. He was an 85 medium top 4. This dude's showing he's an absolute stud. So yeah, that rating definitely reflects it. Zibanejad as well. Slight upgrade there to an 87. Lafreniere, similar to Jack Hughes. I had to drop a little bit just because he didn't really do enough for me in his rookie year. So now an 81 opposed to an 82. Ryan Lindgren here actually gave a bit of an upgrade too. Now an 80. I feel like he's showing he's a pretty solid bottom pair or low end top 4 defenseman. After that, I believe everyone else is the same. Actually, Julien Gauthier, I want to say it was 73, which seemed a bit low, so I made him a 77. Everyone else, though, is the same. Senators here, Dadonov I slightly downgrade to an 83. Josh Norris and Drake Batherson, though, I made them both 82s. I feel like that's definitely more fair, seeing as they were first line forwards for Ottawa most of the season. Let me see, after that, Derek Stepan there dropped by 1 to 81. He's getting older, I think it makes sense. Artem Zub, though, I upgrade to an 80. I feel like he's a pretty solid, bottom pair guy, similar to Lindgren or even low end top 4. After that, did we change anything? I don't think so. I think that was it for the Senators there. Philadelphia Flyers, looking at this one again. Farabee I had to drop a little bit. I felt like, he had a solid season. For me, he was a bit too high. He was an 84 high top 6, which seemed crazy to me. Basically better than Konechny, and I think Konechny's probably the better player. You can argue it, so whatever. I made him an 83 medium top 6. He's got 3 years on Konechny. He'll probably end up being the better player. I feel like this is a bit more fair for Farabee. Now after that, again, I mentioned Gostisbehere lowered to 82 also. I made him a low elite. I forget what his potential was before. Patrick as well as medium elite. I made him low elite. Just basically trying to be fair. I feel like no one can really argue I'm biased at all. I'm just trying to do everything as realistic as I can. The Pittsburgh Penguins here. Brian Dumoulin I gave a nice upgrade to. He's now an 83 with high top 4 potential. I feel like he's been on that Pittsburgh top pair with Letang for so long now. Him being 81 really didn't make a lot of sense. Marino as well was very underrated. 81 low top 6, which is a joke. He's now 82 medium top 4. Peterson as well, slight upgrade, 82 medium top 4. Even Carter there, he had such a good run with Penguins, kind of like Sam Bennett. I gave him a +1, so he's now an 82. Other than that, I think that's all the changes I made with Pittsburgh Penguins. San Jose Sharks here, both Burns and Carlson are now 86s. Also Carlson, I made a low franchise, I put the high franchise. He's 30, so it might not do anything, but it just kind of looked better to me when looking at the stat screen here. After that, let me see. That might have been it. Just the 2 defensemen. And I felt like everyone else, yeah, was pretty good. St. Louis Blues here. Tarasenko I dropped by 1 to an 88. A lot of people probably think this isn't enough, but Tarasenko had 5 straight years, 30 goals. He got injured, only played 10 games, was still a point per game that year. That was 2 years ago. Then obviously last year got injured, finally came back this year. Didn't really look himself, but coming back from an injury, I feel like dropping him only 1 is pretty fair. Braden Chen's another guy turned into a power forward opposed to a 2-way forward. Mike Hoffman here, I dropped by 1 from an 85. Same with Jaden Schwartz. I feel like 84 was a bit more fair. I feel like Vince Dunn might have had high top 4 potential. I'm not positive on that. If he did, I dropped it down. Other than that, though, I think that's pretty much all the changes I made there for the St. Louis Blues. Marco Scandella might have been 81. I dropped him to 80. Again, it's hard to remember like all the small 1 overall changes. Tampa Bay Lightning here, so kind of like Montreal, I made a ton of changes on them. Maybe it's because like these teams are going deep in the playoffs. They're the ones I'm looking at the most. Some are like the Islanders, also the Vegas Golden Knights. I made a lot of changes on. So Hedman I boosted by 1, now at 92, which makes him the highest rated defenseman in game. I think Yossi's second at 91. After that, Sorelli I boosted in potential from medium top 6 to high top 6. Also, I changed around his stats a little bit. I made them a bit more defensive oriented opposed to offensive. So you guys can do that if you want, but you obviously don't have to. Blake Coleman here, I gave a bit of an upgrade, now an 83. He's looked really good on Tampa, so for me, I'd say he's about as good as Yanni Gourde, Alex Killorn, the rest of those guys. I think 83 makes a lot of sense. David Savard, slight upgrade, now an 83. Chernik there as well. He was a 78. It's a bit of a joke how long he's been a 78 for. Like, he's played top pair with Hedman. He's played in their top 4. I think he should be at least 82. Similar to Savard, he's definitely more of a defensive defenseman there, so you can see I focused on that. I think Savard's listed as a 2-way. We could change it. I don't know. There's just so many player types. Like I said, I'm going to miss some of them. Tyler Johnson I actually downgraded from 83 to 82. Another guy, you get put on waivers, you don't get claimed. I think 82 max is pretty fair. After that, I believe that was it for the Lightning. Maple Leafs here, I'm sure a bunch of you guys are wondering, what am I going to do? Matthews and Marner, I just left. I thought about touching them, but I was like, I don't want that, storm to come. I'm going to leave them. Tavares I left, same with Riley. Nylander actually upgraded by 1 to 87. Muzzin as well, I think, upgraded by 1 to 86. Brody got a +2 from 82 to 84. Alex Kerfoot upgraded by 1 to 82. Jason Spezza went up to an 82 from an 80. Also, just recently, like just now, I got extended, so I added that extension to this game. Make sure that's in there. I'm trying to see if I did anything else. Galchenyuk gave a little bit of a boost to an 80, but dropped the potential there to low elite. Dermott had to drop. I felt like he just didn't have the greatest seasons. I believe he was an 82 before. That seemed a bit high, so I dropped him down to an 80. That is it, though, for the Leafs. Again, trying to be as fair as possible. Canucks here. Peterson, Hughes, Besser I left. Horvat here, I actually made a power forward opposed to a 2-way forward. That made a bit more sense to me. Also, I see he's got low elite potential. I honestly just noticed that. I'm going to change to high top 6. I think that makes a bit more sense for Horvat. And so after Horvat, guys, I think the next change I made was Tyler Myers. Dropped it from 83 to 82. Other than that, I think Ferland as well was an 81. I dropped to an 80. Look at the rest of these guys here. I think I left most of them. Louis Erickson, though, I did upgrade from a 76 to a 78. I feel like he can at least play the 4th line. 76 was a bit too mean, in my opinion. Same for Virtanen. He was a 76. I brought him up to a 78. Like, sometimes, I don't know. They just go too harsh, I think, on the ratings. But the Canucks, for sure, I didn't want to, like, make any drastic changes because I feel I'm going to use them for the next franchise mode. I don't want anyone to think I'm cheating or anything. After that, you have the Vegas Golden Knights. Mark Stone here got a pretty big upgrade. Now, a 91, high elite. The best 2-way winger, I think, in the game. And one of the best 2-way forwards. So I made that reflective there with the 92 D-awareness. 95 stick check. He might have the best stick check of any forward in the game in terms of real life as well as in-game now at the 95. I also changed his player type from a power forward to a 2-way forward. And I mentioned how I changed a bunch of 2-way forwards to power forwards. Stone's the only one who actually did the opposite. I had to make him a 2-way forward. As I mentioned, the best 2-way winger in the game. He's got to be a 2-way forward. Shea Theodore here, big upgrade as well. Similar to like Fox, Makar, McAvoy. He's now 88 overall there, medium elite. In-game before, I think he was like 85, 86 with high top 4. Shea Theodore is very, very good. So I wanted to make that boost. Obviously, closing on Pietrangelo. By the time he's done growing, will probably be close to a 90. I think it's made a lot more sense to me. Max Pacioretty there, slight upgrade, now an 87. I think, honestly, I just upgraded his shot. Maybe like offensive awareness a bit. He had a very good season. I felt like he deserved it. He's looked pretty good in the playoffs as well. After that, look at the rest of the Vegas Golden Knights here. Stevenson had to give an upgrade too. He's only an 80. He plays their first line. Obviously, I wouldn't consider him a first line center, but he does play center for their first line. I had to make him an 82. Just kind of upgrade around there, just average stats. After that, I think actually everyone else in the Vegas Golden Knights looked pretty good. Washington Capitals here. So the first one, John Carlson, I dropped by a bit. I think honestly all I did was drop his D-awareness. Very solid defenseman, more offensive than defensive. You can leave him as a two-way. Again, some player types are just like, whatever. If you can make an argument for it, I'll leave it. Kuznetsov there, dropped by 1 to 87, had a bit of a down year. TJ Oshie, though, I upgraded to 86. I thought he looked pretty good. Dmitry Orlov here, upgraded to 84. I felt like, he's a solid defenseman. I think they only have him as an 82. Definitely deserve that upgrade. Tom Wilson there, I changed from a grinder to a power forward. Another computer making Washington's lines can actually put him in the top 6 and probably get a bit more of a chemistry boost. Schultz, I dropped from 84 to 83. Char, I also dropped from 84 to 82. He's pretty old now. He's 43. I feel like if he was 84, Boston would have signed him. I made that argument before. So I just dropped I think his skating, some of his offensive stats there. But other than that, I want to say that's it for the Capitals. And then finally here, Winnipeg Jets. The first thing, I guess, Kyle Connor's now a sniper opposed to a two-way. You guys look at his seasons, he scores a lot of goals. I think sniper makes a lot more sense for him than two-way forward. Nick Ehlers here, I gave a big boost to, now an 87. He was an 85 before, I think. You guys look at his stats. He's actually so sick. Not just real life, but also in-game now. After that, I think DeMello I gave a bit of a boost to, now an 82. He's a solid defensive defenseman. He was only a 79 before. Brian Little I had to downgrade. I know he's been injured and stuff, but even by the time he comes back, I doubt he would have been 83. 82 made more sense to me. I thought that was all the changes for the Jets. There was actually a couple more. Stanley here upgraded a bit to a 77 as well. Vesalainen, as I mentioned, I dropped there to medium top 6. So I guess I'll show you guys the goalies now. The Jets there, I didn't change anything. Same with the Ducks. Coyotes, I made a boost to Kemper, now an 85. Bruins, Swayman, I gave an upgrade, now 78. He didn't look too bad, playing in the NHL as a starter. Buffalo's the same. The Flames are the same. Neroljevich there on Carolina's down 84, so a big boost to him. He actually had better stats than Mrazek in the regular season, and he got more starts in the playoffs, so I think it makes sense, him to be the same rating. Looks like he'll probably be the starter of the future for the Hurricanes. Blackhawks, I left the same. Avalanche here, Grubauer's now an 88. Vezina candidate. I felt like he deserved a big upgrade. Blue Jackets are the same. The Stars, I believe, are the same. Actually, they're not, sorry. Ottinger, I made a medium starter. Before, I think he was medium fringe, and I might even give him a bit of an upgrade as well on his rating, because he didn't look too bad playing for the Stars this year. Thomas Greiss, for some reason, they downgraded 81. He looked pretty much the same as Bernier this year. Very similar stats. I had them both being 83. Smith here, I left, but Koskinen I downgraded by 1. Same with Stalock. Now it's kind of in order. I feel like Ken Holland would rank his goalies. Florida Panthers here, Bobrovsky I had a downgrade, now an 84. Dreiger there, 83, 1 below him. Spencer Knight, as I mentioned, I made high elite. I think the rating, though, I left the same. Bobrovsky 84, it might be a bit harsh, but I feel like I want to say it's fair. LA is the same. The Wild here, Cacton was 84 before, so I had to downgrade him to 82. As Talbot, I felt 83 made sense, and he's the starter over Kakkonen. Playoffs, yes, he had better numbers, so Kakkonen just can't be higher rated. Montreal, I left the same. Nashville, Saros here, I gave a big upgrade to, now an 87 with medium elite potential. I think he's such a good goalie. He basically carried the Predators into the playoffs the last, month or so of the season. The Devils there, I left. The Islanders, Varlamov's down 87, so a bit of an upgrade for him. Also, Sorokin, I had to give an upgrade to, now an 84 medium elite, making him pretty similar to Shesterkin, who's 85 medium elite, which I think makes a lot more sense. In my opinion, they're very similar. Shesterkin might have the slight edge, which is not reflected in game. Centers there, I think I might have given Murray a +1 to, just because I think he had pretty bad numbers this year because he was playing on Ottawa, and he actually got better towards the end of the season. Philly's the same. Pittsburgh's the same. The Sharks are the same. Jones, I was like, is 80 a bit too harsh? But Jones' numbers have been terrible. St. Louis, I changed Bainton's potential if it matters. Tampa's the same. Toronto here. So Anderson, I had to drop a bit to an 86. And I bumped up Campbell to 84, as now they're a bit more even, seeing as obviously Campbell is the starter in the playoffs. We don't really know yet whether or not Campbell's play is going to be sustainable, so I felt like 84 was, the highest I could really go. Vancouver Canucks, Demko, I upgraded by 1 to 85. I feel like he had a very solid season. He deserved it. Vegas Golden Knights here. Fleury upgraded by 1 to a 90. Vezina candidate. You get a boost. Samsonov as well got a boost in 84. And then Lundqvist I had to drop to 82 because he was supposed to come in and be the backup. I think before he was 84, Samsonov 83. Again, doesn't make sense. When in real life, Samsonov's the starter, Lundqvist is the backup. That should be reflected in game. Why they don't do that sometimes, EA, I have no idea. Also, guys, in regards to the AHL, I really didn't make a lot of changes. I know Lavelle here, Palin's now medium top 6 opposed to low. Also, Yolonen, I fixed his shot a bit. It was like 68 before for the accuracy. Now it's mid-70s because otherwise it's never good. Other than that, though, I was looking through, I didn't really make that many changes for the AHL. I felt it just made a lot of sense in most cases. Jack Quinn, I made high top 6 opposed to medium. Also, Timothy Liljegren here, I had to drop from medium elite to medium top 4. Otherwise, the Leafs, every single time, just trade him for way too much. It's just super unrealistic. But yeah, I think really I didn't do that much in the AHL. Maybe there was some stuff I should have done I missed, but what are you going to do? So WHL here, just going to quickly kind of go through all the teams, point out some things I changed. So the first, I guess, Neighbors now medium top 6 opposed to low. Also Williams here, medium top 9 opposed to medium top 6. As well, Sebastian Costa here is probably going to be a first round pick. So I boosted his rating to a 60, gave him medium elite potential. He'll still probably only go second or third round in game, but I couldn't really do much more than that. Looking to the rest of the teams here, Wiseblood upgraded to medium top 6 because he was a first round pick. Now the next big one here, guys, Connor Bedard. I might have went a little crazy, but he's what everyone's talking about. 65 overall, high franchise potential at 15 years old. Look at his stats. This guy's going to be ridiculous. His shot there, he's just such a good sniper. I don't know. I want to see kind of how good he gets. That shot might be a little high for a 15-year-old, but like he's supposed to be the next Crosby, the next McDavid. This might be a bit too high rated for him, but honestly, I don't care. I want to have some fun with it as well. The high franchise potential. He's the only prospect in game I gave that potential to. Like I said, he's got all the hype right now. I figured why not have some fun and just see kind of how good he can get in franchise. Also, guys, Matthew Saboy here, I gave a bit of an upgrade. He was a 60 before with medium elite, now 62 high elite. Supposed to be third overall in 2022 behind Wright and Lambert, but all three of those guys are 6, so I think that makes a lot more sense. Moving on to the OHL now, you can see again, Brant Clark, medium elite, same as Dylan Gunther. All those guys are going to be very similar in the top 10 this year. Brendan Hoffman here is supposed to go first round, so he's now medium top 6. And speaking of Shane Wright, you can see I made him a 66 overall there with medium franchise potential. I think EA only had him as like a 60 with medium elite, maybe 61. Definitely underrated. Like, this guy is so good. His numbers as a 15-year-old in OHL were actually better than McDavid, so had to give him a big boost. Also, he's supposed to be a very fast, very good skater, so you can see there, 85 speed and excel as a 16-year-old. Should make him pretty nasty. Also, guys, on Ottawa here, I gave Marco Rossi medium elite potential. Peter Ropeets, McTavish there now has high top 6. He could go top 10, so that's kind of why he's there. Top 10 to top 15, like I said, high top 6. And I think that might be it actually for the OHL. Just looking through everybody here. And yeah, that was all the changes there for the OHL. Moving on to the Q, I think there was only a few changes I made, so I'll just find them quick. Now in Gatineau, guys, I'm pretty sure I upgraded Zach Dean here to medium top 6. Halifax, little review there, high top 6. Should go top 15, so it makes sense. Alexander Kovanov here on Moncton. I made a low elite. He was medium top 6. He had like 2 points a game in the Q last year, but he played 7 games in the KHL this year, didn't score. So I feel like low elite makes a bit more sense for him. Then after that, Rimouski here, Zachary Bolduc. I made a medium top 6. Xavier Bourgault here. I made a 60 overall medium top 6. They should go somewhere in the first round. Panera, for some reason, they gave high top 6 too, but second round pick doesn't really deserve high top 6 based on his stats either. So I made him a medium top 6, which I still think is very fair. Joshua Waugh there, medium top 6. Those are all the changes for the Q. Again, so many things here to remember. I'm sure I missed some stuff, not only like telling you guys what I did, but also doing it. Noel Gunley here. Didn't change his rating potential, but I did make him a sniper, as he's a sniper, so it just makes sense. Holtz, they finally made a sniper on their own. William Eklund here. So he's a 17-year-old, 70 overall now with medium elite potential. Before, I think he's like 65, medium top 6. If we wanted to potentially go in the top 3, we had to give him a boost, so that's what I did. As you can see, he's got pretty good offensive stats overall, so curious to see kind of how he'll grow in games. Raymond there. I think they had him as a sniper. I made him a 2-way forward. Leia here. Fabian Lysell, I had to upgrade a lot. So I want to say he was like 64, maybe 65, medium top 6. He's now 68, high top 6. Again, he could go top 10, for sure top 15. So I felt like that made sense. Gave him a really good shot there, sick hand. So another guy I'm kind of curious to see how he grows in the franchise. Also on the lay, I should mention, Jesper Walstad here, 65 overall, so 5 higher than Costa. As well, he's got that medium franchise potential. So I have him with a bit more potential than Knight, than Askarov. He's kind of a bit higher touted of a goalie prospect. In the past, he's grown a lot in franchise, but he hasn't always played the best. So what are you going to do? Let me see. Rogel, Sider actually made medium elite. He's a very good prospect. I don't know why they have him as a medium top 4. There's a lot of players, as you saw, like Timothy Liljegren, for instance, who had medium elite that didn't deserve it, while Sider deserved it and didn't have it. Now, I think that was actually it for the SHL. Heading over to the Liga now. I know Brad Lambert here, I made some changes too. So, similar to Savoy, I gave him a bit of an upgrade. Now, 64 with high elite. I think he was like a 61 medium elite before. Obviously, should go number 2 behind Shane Wright. You can see he's got pretty sick hands, solid shot, good skater. Again, should be a pretty sick prospect in this game. Now, Atu Ratu here, I had to downgrade. I know he had a lead from EA. I want to say it was a 68. I now have him as a 66 medium elite because maybe he'll go top 10 if someone still has him, highly ranked. I think probably top 15, maybe even top 20. So this is probably still a little bit too high, but basically I was being nice. That's basically all it is. I didn't want to downgrade him too much. Moving over to the Dell, I know on one team, Red Bull there, a couple changes. So John Jason Peterka there, I made a 62 medium top 6. He looked pretty good at the World Juniors playing with Stützle on that top line. You can see he was an early second round pick by the Sabres. I want to say EA had him as like a 55 low top 9 or something stupid. It made no sense to me. Now, I know there's one player I'm forgetting. Oh, there he is, Lucas Reichel. He's a medium top 9 before. I made him medium top 6, 17th overall by the Blackhawks. I feel like he deserves that medium top 6. Now, I do think that is it for the Dell. After that, I think the only other change I made, I already mentioned it, was Broberg. Now, I thought Broberg was playing in the second Swedish League, guys. He was actually playing in the first, and he's playing with Berggren, who I forgot I also gave an upgrade to. He's looked really good over in Sweden. He's now 66 overall. I think before he was a 60, if you guys are curious about the stats. And then Philip Broberg, as I mentioned, didn't change the stats, but I did boost the potential there to high top 4. So that's it, guys, for my updated custom roster. I don't think I'm going to touch the ratings for the rest of the year. Only thing I plan on doing is obviously once the offseason hits, we'll have to move around players based on free agent signings, trades, stuff like that. But I feel like the ratings are a pretty good spot now. It took a while to do, but I like them. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully it wasn't too hard to follow. If you guys have any questions at all, leave them in the comment section below. As always, guys, hopefully enjoyed this one. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Have a nice day, guys. Goodbye.